Hey, welcome. Here to chat basketball, NBA playoffs. Everybody, did you watch the Celtics game last night? No Tatum, and they still won. What are your thoughts? Hey, welcome. Here to chat basketball, playoffs, Celtics. Just NBA playoffs doesn't have to be about the Celtics. If you are, what do you think about Tatum's injury? Think he's gonna be able to bounce back all right? When do you think he's gonna be able to bounce back? Comment below. Make sure you smash that thumbs up too, and yeah. So make sure we're chatting. Type in the box below. It's probably the most entertaining way, other than just staring at me on the other side of your device. Comment below. What do we think? What's the time frame for Jason Tatum will return? Saw a picture of he already underwent surgery. I don't think he'll come back the same. If he does come back, it's going to be limited minutes, personally. What are your thoughts if you follow basketball? My one solo viewer. 3, hey, welcome. Make sure we smash the like. We're talking playoff basketball. Got a picture of Tatum up here. Hey, how's it going? Hello. What are your thoughts on, did you see the Celtics-Knicks game last night? I'm a big Boston Celtics fan, and I personally truly believe that the Celtics played so much better last night without Tatum, I'll be honest. Like, the ball movement was on point. That is my take. Comment below. Make sure we hit the like button. That helps a lot, especially on a live stream. But, make sure we're commenting. It could be anything, any basketball-related topic. It don't matter. Yep. Think the Celtics can pull off a complete comeback and upset? What about Denver? You think they can pull it off? OKC? I personally think Oklahoma's going to go to the championship. That's my take. Indiana Pacers. That was a surprise. I mean, Donovan Mitchell folding all season was so epic. Not to say he didn't play bad, but for the Indiana Pacers to lay the smackdown like that on Cleveland, they just were not playoff ready. Regular season, ready. Playoff, ready. Not so much. Thoughts on that? I mean, what are your thoughts on Cleveland getting bounced out? I mean, that to me, I was shocked. I mean, the Celtics ain't playing much better, to be honest. But they won last night. They won it was like 30 points. It was like 20 some odd, 30-point win. Of course, Brunson did foul out, but hey. Welcome to my one viewer. You said hello, so I say hello back. Like I said, it's nice when you make comments below. Just gives a little talking point. Gives me a little more interaction back. OKC winning it all. Yeah, they are, obviously they have SGA, and he is absolutely fire, MVP this year. I mean, Chet, I like Chet. Liked him in college. Like him now. And they are a very young and potent team. And, last year they got some playoff experience. This year is showing why they're the top team in the West. The Knicks. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I know it's probably not right, but the Knicks are losing the series. It's going 7 games, and the Celtics are gonna win it. Jason Tatum, unfortunate injury, but I watch mostly Celtics games, and I will say this: the Celtics game last night against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Was it in Madison? Yeah, it was in Madison Square Garden, I believe. I believe it was in Madison Square. Anyway, whichever it was, their ball movement and their passing and just their just overall flow and possessions of the game, the ball last night, was so much better without Jason Tatum. Like, it wasn't a 1-2 pass, take a 3, Tatum take a 3 for off a 1-2 pass, an ISO situation. It was like legitimate ball movement. Now, yes, there was moments where they had a 1-2 pass combo or whatever it is, but a moment where I was like, yes, was when I think it might have been, he's either Pritchard or Brown, I can't remember. But anyway, Cornette was in the paint, kind of open, kind of not open. They pass it to him, and he flushes it for a dunk, right? Flushes it for a dunk. And I was just like, yes. In like 2 games back, similar situation. Tatum, though, out on the corner. Al Horford was in the paint. His defender was on the ground. And Tatum could have just easily passed it into Al, and Al could have just had a quick dunk for a quick 2 points. And instead, he chose to shoot a 3, which he didn't make. And then from there, it just kind of spiraled downhill. Yes, I know 3s are more worth than 2s, but at that moment, they were struggling to shoot the ball, and they could have got an easy 2 points just to kind of keep it going, and they didn't. I'll be honest, Oklahoma's probably going to go to the championship, and I'm going out on a whim here. Celtics are going to make a run. I think the Knicks are in trouble now that Jason Tatum's out, because their ball movement's going to be so much better. They said they're just going to move the ball around more, in which they totally dominated that ball movement piece. But as going to the championship, I don't know. Indiana, I don't think they'll get past Indiana, though. Maybe Indiana, OKC. That'd be interesting. So it looks like you're an Oklahoma fan. Pacers. Yes, the Pacers are a solid bunch. You know, and I've said it before. Certain teams, even though they might be third or fourth ranked, I feel like they're better than that. You know, I'll be honest. Even like, I know it's unfortunate what happened with Golden State, and I know Minnesota's moved on, but Golden State was, I think they were what, a 7th seed. They are better than a 7th seed when Curry got hurt. I mean, I think they would have won that game, I think, if Curry was playing. But and same thing with Minnesota. You know, what are they? They're a lower seeded team. Again, but they're better than what they're seeded. I think with the West, truly, you know, Oklahoma and the Nuggets were probably, you know, the two teams in the West that I feel like were truly a good 1-2 seed or a 1-3 seed or whatever it is. Yep. Yeah. Halliburton, he's on a mission. Last year, I think, with his injury, the Celtics kind of got it. I know people say they had an easy run in the East, and, you know, I kind of partially agree with it. You know, Indiana got injured, the Knicks got injured, you know, they made it to that. But then they played a full, healthy Dallas Mavericks team. And but I knew the Celtics last year matched up so well against the Dallas Mavericks. Like, the matchup was such in the Celtics' favor. Matchup. Now, the Celtics don't match up well with Indiana. They don't match up well with Atlanta. And Atlanta got bounced out. But matchups really, really, in the NBA, matchups really matter. Like, who are you going to be matched up against? And, you know, the Celtics, yeah, the Atlanta, they did not match up well with them for some reason. They do not match up well with Indiana. I really wasn't too worried about the Knicks, but Celtics, like I said, live by the 3, die by the 3. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for those likes. I appreciate it. Since we got 4 people watching, what's everybody's favorite team? Where are we all from? Obviously, we got Raw X there, X whichever. Seems like you're an OKC fan. So you from that area, I would take it maybe. Most people are fans of the teams that are in their market area that are on TV sometimes. Feel free to comment below. What's your favorite team? You can even talk about NBA draft. I don't know. Obviously, I know a little. I don't follow too much college ball from that to the transition to the draft, but Florida originally Bucks fan. Harden's a bum. Selling every year. Oh, well, Giannis leave the Bucks. Well, first I'm going to talk on your James Harden. You know what? I like James Harden, and a lot of people don't realize. Most people, well, maybe people do realize, but he is actually, James Harden is the second all-time three-point shooter in the NBA, right behind Steph Curry. He passed Ray Allen like this past season. So to think about the amount of points. Now, James Harden, if he was to get himself in a little bit better shape, probably could play better defense. James Harden, he is a player who needs to be the focal point of the team. When he's not the focal point, he has a hard time. His golden years, as I want to say, was the Rockets. I mean, Rockets Harden, by far the best James Harden you could get. But there was nobody else on the team. He was the focal point, and he could drop 50 points a game. You know, yeah, he's with Kawhi, but Kawhi's always got a hangnail or toenail injury, or, you know, he got a little bruise on his leg and can't play basketball for 6 months. So he can still kind of be the man. And of course, PG got shipped out of town. So, but yeah, Harden. Oh, yeah. You know, the Clippers, I mean, they're a good team, but yeah, yeah. Kawhi, I think they should move off Kawhi, try to get somebody else. He doesn't play enough. But next question on that was, will Giannis leave the Bucks? You know, Giannis. You know, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want Giannis. And he is getting older. So there is that. He still has a high value. I think they will trade him out of Milwaukee, because I think this is his last season, and after this season he's gonna walk, so Milwaukee's gonna probably want something for him. So if they trade him, at least then they can get some talent and some draft picks. He's gonna be expensive, so it's gonna be a team that's gonna have to unload some players to make room. I've heard things like Miami, but I don't think Miami's a contender. I also heard Orlando was thrown out there. The Orlando Magic were thrown out there, and I mean, him and Paulo, wow, that would be a fantastic combo. And they could probably afford him. Of course, I keep seeing things on like Facebook where like he gets sent out to like the Lakers. That ain't gonna happen. But there was a Boston Celtics were also a potential suitor, and how people are like, wow, no, the Celtics are going to be in a massive cap problem after this season, and so like they could do something like a package deal. They could send Jaylen Brown and Derek White to Milwaukee and maybe some draft picks for Giannis, and that would exit out like $80 million off of their books, and then they could get Giannis and then have some wiggle room there. So it's gonna be interesting, but I think a lot of teams are gonna try to make deals for Giannis, and I think the Bucks are gonna try to go into rebuild mode. Damian Lillard, he wasted all his years in Portland. Portland's one of those organizations. You go there to die as a player. You get drafted and you good. You better hope that you leave after your contract's up. But he didn't. He was loyal. Props to him, but he wasted all his best years. What else we got? What else? Celtics. What do we got here? Celtics are better without Tatum. Yes. The Celtics right now currently are better without Tatum because they have better ball movement. Better ball movement without Tatum. Yep, that's why Leon Scum, however you pronounce that. Celtics are better without Tatum. They have better ball movement. Are Lakers fans greedy for wanting Giannis? Nah. Damian is cooked, sadly. Yeah, well, Damian's got the same problem as freaking Jason Tatum right now. Achilles. Kobe had that problem. Kobe busted his out. Kevin Durant busted his. Damian's busted his. Tatum's busted his Achilles. I think there's a few other guys. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't really remember who else busted their Achilles. But this is wild. I'm gonna throw this out there. It could be the fact the shoes. Okay, because I'm not super young, dude. So, I was a baller in the 90s. And, basketball shoes then were like high tops. and your shoe, your foot, and your ankle, and all that was like a well, supported around, like a cocoon, so to speak. But now basketball shoes are like low top, like almost like a running shoe / tennis shoe. And I just don't think it gives the players, it gives them more speed and mobility with the cutting and slicing, but I don't think it gives their ankles and their leg the extra stability. And I think you're seeing a lot of these guys, like that play that Tatum tore his Achilles on, it didn't even look like anything. Like it looked so weak. That Achilles snap was so weak looking. And I think it's the shoes. I think those low cut basketball shoes, they're nice, but I don't think they support the ankle and the surrounding foot enough. And that's why some of these guys are popping these Achilles. Yep, someone I told that to a few months ago laughed at me. The basketball shoes now are supposed to support anything of important. Right. Yep, they don't really support much. Right. I remember when I hooped back in high school, I had a pair. One season I had a pair of, now it was funny, people hate them, but they look nice. I had a pair of Penny Hardaway Foamposites, Orlando blue, with the air pocket in the back. Them things were so sweet looking. But it came up, and it had good traction, but it wasn't like, super grippy, but they supported your foot. I even had a pair of Charles Barkley's once, like the CB34 shoes. I even had a pair of, oh man, when I was a freshman, I had a pair of, like, what were they? Larry Johnson Grandmama. If you gotta look him up, he was out of Charlotte. He had some fantastic. He had Converse shoes, but they were definitely more thicker bricker, but they were supportive. Like now, the shoes are just so low cut. They're like tennis shoes. Shoes, yeah. Super popular. Yep. D Roses were great. Yeah, but even if you looked at even some of the later Derrick Rose shoes from Adidas, they were not like super low shoe. They were at least a mid-range cut shoe at least. But like those, I feel like Kobe Bryant was the one that really pushed those like ankle bone shoe tops. Yeah, they're grippy as all frick. I will say that. But it says something. It says something. You don't have as much support. You got a lot of grip and you got a lot of slice and dice. But you're not getting the same kind of foot and ankle support out of those. But then again, like I said, you're a little more clunky. I feel like you sacrificing. Dunk. Yeah, all right. Nice. Nothing wrong with some Slamma-Jamma. Nice. Derrick Rose, first basketball shoes in middle school. Oh yeah. Yep. I never had a pair of D Roses, but no, it's even. I had a pair of. Now I had a pair of Kobe's, but they were like when Kobe was with Adidas before he switched over to Nikes. And they were like these alien spaceship looking shoes. Almost kind of look like a lot of James Harden sneaks. But they were this really thick, that supportive ankle, foot. And you could still run in them. Yeah. Hardaway for Orlando. Yep. Hardaway. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm like saying, I had a pair. I had a couple different pairs of Hardaways. I had the Orlando blue pair and the Foamposites. Then he came out with this other one. It wasn't a Foamposite, but it was had like a harder plastic on something on the side. And I had a black pair of those. They were legit. Those were decent like high-level basketball shoes. I even had a pair of freaking Charles Barkley's. I had a pair of Charles Barkley CB34s. They were white when he played for the Phoenix Suns. Had an air pocket in the back. They weren't too heavy. They were pretty good. Lasted a good solid season. Oh no, that was the pair I actually blew out the air pocket in those, and then I returned them to like the Foot Locker, and they were like, oh well, they just gave me a new pair. Yep. What does everybody think about the Dallas Mavericks getting the #1 draft pick, chase for Cooper Flag? It's been quite the controversy. Those Nike Air Flights are legit too. Great ankle support. I hear that. I hear that. Devil magic. That's right. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, this now if you believe it's controversy or you think it's conspiracy, it's a bunch of beep 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 beep." You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. I saw this thing the other day. It was like what it was. It was Chris Paul gets traded, whatever. Then the Hornets get the first round draft pick. Then the New Orleans, whatever they were, traded Anthony Davis, and then they got Zion and this, you know, I don't know. I mean, they did have there's always that percentage, that always chance that you do get the first round pick. But I mean, their percent was like 10%. It was pretty like low compared to some of the other teams. So I think that would be interesting if he's not the best in the class. You're a fool. I'm wasting life. But yeah, I don't know if it would be complete, but ooh, someone does not like this live stream. But anyway, Cooper Flag. You know what though? Last summer for the U.S. Olympic team, watching those highlights of him playing against Anthony Davis and LeBron and Team USA. I mean, yes, they were highlight clips, so you don't see the whole thing, but from the highlight clips, I mean, the dude looked ready to go. Like, looked ready to go. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, he did pretty good in college. 19 point, average 19 a game or something crazy like that. I mean, he kind of did it all. Oh yeah, that's right. They sure did. They sure did get those in a row. Yep, 3 straight years. Now who they got? What they picked? One of those was Kyrie Irving. I think they picked, right? I think Kyrie was that, or was that the LeBron James pick? And then I don't remember. That was some time ago. Not 3 straight. 1 year in between. Wow, that's still pretty impressive. But you got teams like I've always been saying this. You got teams like Washington, and they just stink every year. They get high. Well, this year they didn't really they didn't even get top 5 this year. But every year they stink. I mean, they had a couple good years with Gilbert Arenas. They drafted John Wall, and they totally wasted John Wall's abilities in years. They wasted all John Wall's good years. That's shame on them. Like, you get yourself a star talent. Now you need to make it happen and try to build around him as best as possible. And they just waste. Andrew Wiggins, that's right, Wiggins. Anthony Bennett, yep. That's right. And then after that, he went from Miami back to the Pacers, right? Pacers are tough, man. They surprised me. I mean, and if the Celtics manage to squeak out against the Knicks, I don't think they'll beat the Pacers, because the Pacers match up really good with the Celtics. But I mean, the Celtics got to win 2 more. But I think they can do it without Tatum. Yeah, they keep that ball movement going.